What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActorMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and this is a second look at Dune Part 1, because Dune Part 2 is on Max. So, decided to watch the whole thing. Anyway, this is my second time watching Dune, and in case you didn't know that half of Hollywood was in this, let's recap. It stars Timothee Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Charlotte Rampling, Dave Bautista, David Desmalchin, Benicio del Toro, what's Javier Bardem? Which one was it? I got that one wrong. In my effort to list the endless amounts of people in the film. There's a shitload of people in this film. It's directed by Denis Villeneuve, which is all I really need to know. And it's on Max. It has audio description. It's done by William Michael Redmond and the team at Deluxe. So click subscribe, because I'm not sure if it's Benicio del Toro or Javier Bardem. I was until a few minutes ago, and then I started second guessing myself. I literally looked at the cast list right before the video, and then I went into it and I was like, should I bother saying it? I'll say both names. It'll be funny. It'll be cute. It'll be endearing. People will be like, you can't tell the difference. I'm like, I can't anymore. Blind and yeah. So anyway, Dune is, it's a feat. The funny thing is, it's a feat for visual people, right? It's this huge, giant special effect. Not that steers me away from films. There have been films that have been very visual effect driven or action driven, and it's all about the audio description and how well the audio description works for blind people to be able to enjoy and understand these films. So, and for those of us who have maybe even just I have a very minimal vision, if you get to see it on a big screen, you can see some stuff moving around, some shadows and some stuff on a big screen. Last time I saw in theaters was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I did look up a couple times at the screen, and I was like, what can I see? And I was like, shadows. Ooh. Not enough. But something. So, yeah, this is tough for me because I know nothing about Dune, and I think it's a franchise that Denis Villeneuve he's a badass director, and I got to give him props, because there are some franchises where the shit that they're trying to do is confusing, and they don't do it well. And they try to have data dumps of exposition, and it's really cheap, and it comes off the other direction too. Movies that I can think of that did this, where they realized their source material was bad shit. Eternals has a lot of exposition. I think it actually starts with exposition, and I think they just keep finding ways of dropping more and more exposition into that film. And then, obviously, the Rebel Moon franchise is, I don't know what Zack Snyder's doing with that, but, it just doesn't make any sense. So, Dune is one of these films where I think if you've read the books, I feel like those people are, super hyped, because this is, on point. And when you think about it, Peter Jackson also tried to not have a whole lot of exposition, just data dump exposition, where he sit there and explain large amounts of bullshit to you. And Denis avoids that too. A lot of talented directors are I think I can weave this in. I think I can figure it out, and I think my audience will follow me. And it's one of the great things that he does with his films whenever they're adaptations, like Blade Runner 2049, is that he doesn't assume that his audience is stupid. The problem is that with Dune, I am a little stupid. So this is not my favorite Denis Villeneuve film, and it doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I know it's a good film, and I know that a lot of it would come together if I could see what was going on screen, because then I'd be like, the worms! The visual effects on those worms are so good. But when I don't have that, when I just have the story, and the story is a bit much to try to wrap my head around twice now. Although the second time I did pick up on it more, and I'm really picking up on Rebecca Ferguson's performance. If I had to single out a cast member, it's funny that I still wouldn't single out Timothee Chalamet. I know that everybody else is, and they're like, "Oh, he's great." It's like, I don't know. I thought Rebecca Ferguson was doing a pretty good job, um, but then again, she always is, and maybe one day she'll get recognized for it. Be nice. That would be nice. Just putting that out there for the Oscar committee, because Chalamet does have an Oscar nomination, so he can always say Academy Award nominee Timothee Chalamet. Rebecca Ferguson cannot say that. Food for thoughts. Interestingly, so can most of the rest of the cast. Academy Award nominee Josh Brolin, Academy Award nominee either Benicio del Toro or Bardem. Actually, they can both say Academy Award winner no matter which one it is. So, yes. So Dune was exciting the second time around. I had fun. The thing is that I feel like I'm still uncovering things with this. So it was like, it's a different second look. With some second looks, I'm like appreciating the film for a second time. And with Dune, for the second time, I felt like it was just giving me more context. Like, I felt like I was just like reawakening myself to the context of this universe, and the spices, and the spice in the world, and all these different characters and their performances, and trying to track them. And Zendaya really doesn't do much in the first film. Apparently she does a lot in the second. We'll find out. But yeah, it's a nice experience, and I'm glad I did this to go back through Dune. It's long, but it's not boring. The pacing is good, even though I'm a little bit unsure that I even still, after 2 viewings, fully understand what's going on in his universe, which is a lot. But what I love about Denis is that he can direct something like this, and he can also direct something like Prisoners. You can give him like an assload of money to direct a giant adaptation of something, but then you can also dial it back and give him money and just some really good actors, and just a regular plot. Just some real humans doing some real stuff. No science fiction, no special effects needed. Just let's focus in on the acting. And Denis is excellent at that stuff as well. He is one of the best directors working, I believe. There was a documentary called Facing Nolan, which was about Nolan and Ryan, and yeah, I think there should be there should be a status of called Chasing Nolan, and it's chasing Christopher Nolan, and who's the one that's trying to chase that? I think it's Denis. I think Denis is the director that's trying to chase that Christopher Nolan fan base, the one where people just loyally show up. You put his name in front of a film, and film Twitter shows up. Nolan kind of has that effect right now on a lot of people. And there are a couple directors who are trying to have that same sort of air about them. I think Denis is really close to just being able to put his name in front of a film, and then people go, ooh, it's a Denis Villeneuve film. Yeah, it's it's funny because most of the scenes that I like in this are related to Jessica, are related to Rebecca Ferguson. Because I feel like she's guiding Paul the whole time, on this journey, and Paul doesn't quite know who he is or what he's capable of, and he's like, I'm ready. Rebecca's like, you're not ready. Jessica's like, you're not ready. And I love the stuff with the frequency, and what they were able to do. It's 3:44 a.m. Now you know what time I would do my reviews at. And I just think she's a tremendous actress, and she's just really underrated. So that's the takeaway that I got the second time around, was as I'm letting this film wash over me again, I was like, damn, Rebecca Ferguson's really good in this. It's like legitimately good in this. So I don't know, we'll see in Dune Part 2. Everybody keeps talking about we should get acting nominations out of Dune Part 2. I'm gonna be like, if it goes to Rebecca Ferguson, maybe I'll be open to that. She's never been nominated. That'd be great. Also, I'm very much a person who believes Oscar Isaac is somebody who should have been nominated by now. I think he's chasing an Oscar. So, yeah, it's Oscar's chasing an Oscar. Anyway, those are my thoughts again on Dune. The second time around, the score is incredible. I think we all know that. It's not my favorite film because it's like I'm still at a point where, so you're gonna be like, why isn't the grade like perfect? It's a perfect film. For me, it's just not like, it's still, and I will totally, I rarely ever say this. It could totally just be my blindness. It could totally be the fact that this film relies a lot on visual effects, and it's a franchise that I'm not familiar with. Those two things, just turning it around. The weird thing is that I do enjoy films that are heavy in visual effects, and I've enjoyed films that I don't know the source material. But it's just, with Dune, I understand that there's a lot there. That Frank Herbert's novel was really hard to adapt. It's one of the reasons why people didn't like the original film with Kyle MacLachlan, directed by David Lynch, because it tried to throw everything together into one film. And apparently this is one of those books where you can't really do that effectively and keep, the coherence of the story there. So now we have more faithful adaptations. So everybody who's read Dune is getting the pleasure of seeing their work adapted, which I think it's a great thing to have. And honestly, this is a great film regardless. But I'm gonna keep it just a teensy step below my perfect grade here. I'm gonna give Dune an A-. I'm still trying to figure the film out. I still feel like I need another viewing. I'm not saying the film is bad. I'm still feeling like, and I appreciate the fact. That's why I'm not taking the grade, not being like, well, I don't understand this film. When you do data dumps of like long ass, and you have somebody who just sits there and explains for like 5 minutes, and they're like, the wall between the two people have gone through, and you remember the time when you have scenes like that, and I still don't understand, that's when I get annoyed. But when you just sort of like organically try to put people into a universe and think that people will pick up on the story and the adventure regardless, I appreciate that, because it's such a power move. It's such a cinematic power move. It's to say, I believe in my direction. I believe in these actors enough. I believe in the story and the screenplay. I believe in the score. I believe in everything. And you've come here to go on a journey, on a ride with me, and I'm going to send you on that ride. And I think that's what Denis does. I am still a little confused after 2 viewings. I don't quite grasp Dune as a world. And I don't feel like reading a giant book in order to get there. But it's a lot easier to just try to watch the film more times. So probably I'll end up, when they do the third Dune, watching Dune 1 again and Dune 2 again. So that I'm ready for Dune 3. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side with a Dune Part 2 review.